Right, we go.
Away we go.
Hello, everyone. This is a test recording and stream, and streaming via Discord of a game with Tim, Eelusion, and I'll get the other people on our voice channel to say hello.
Hello, this is Shez here, representing the UK.
And Jimmy HB.
So we are the Team GB, and we're going by London Calling at the moment. And yes, we're just having a quick test game here to check that, recording works, the levels are fine, everyone can be heard, and it's not just me saying, oh yeah, everything they've said, they agree with me, and we're brilliant. So how's this starting hand for us? Are we going 4-4-2? We've got Europe scoring, but we don't have a lot of 4-up
cards. The question here is, do we think we can score Europe for Dom?
Yeah, because he doesn't have access. We've got De Gaulle and we've got duck and cover, so he can't do that trick.
Yep, and we've got socialist government, so he can't drop Italy for the coup.
Yeah, presumably he would space one of the De Gaulle or socialist and hold the other.
So worst case scenario, we get purge blockaded, which means we will not score for domination. Fidel and we want to get Fidel off before DEFCON drops to 2. So I usually event. So I'm saying it, but now I have to discuss it with you. I usually try to event Fidel before DEFCON drops to 2, so that they can't chuck CIA for free.
Sounds good.
So we're opening 4-4-2.
I think 4-4-2.
Let's do that. The only point to discuss about De Gaulle is whether we event De Gaulle and then try and fill France and hope he doesn't raid. We've got Truman anyway, so maybe we do that. Give him Algeria.
Repair, and then cool. Because obviously 4-3-3 is a reasonable argument. We're holding socialist governments, but if we want to score Europe for domination, I guess we really want to make sure the Italy coup doesn't go off.
Headline, TNS.
Yeah, get the 2 VP right. We don't want to headline duck and cover. Cool. Let's go. So 4-4-2. Captured Nazi for the headline, and let's just plug all the other stuff into the hand tracker.
We have a hand tracker.
Yeah, I've got that as well, so I can tell you what we think we're holding. Right, let's skip to... So, yes, so he's gone to Asia. Will it be the cheeky domination?
We'll take Asia Dom, we'll take Europe Dom.
That's right, quid pro quo. So he's getting the influence in first. So that suggests not holding Asia scoring unless he's exceptionally greedy.
Do we want to be... Can we afford a coup in Thailand is the question.
I guess the problem is that he'll have a chance to counter coup anyway because DEFCON's 5.
Also, I wonder, does that mean he's not holding a 4-ops?
Indeed, that's a reasonable argument.
Or possibly even 3. It's a slightly. If he's short on ops, then he could be wanting to use Vietnam revolts. So we could.
I wouldn't say he necessarily doesn't have a 4-ops because it could just be efficient, tempting us to coup Thailand. If we succeed, at the worst case, he could use China to flip Thailand anyway.
Yeah.
So we're not going to catch up on... So what are our options? We could coup Laos Cambodia, which is a bit boring. We could play 2 into Pakistan with something like Fidel, which would be odd, but I guess if he couped, we'd have a chance to counter coup at DEFCON 4, either Thailand or Pakistan, although we don't have our own 4-op card. So it'll still be a dicey coup. Or we just event De Gaulle and put 3 in.
You could event... How about event De Gaulle? 2 into France, 1 into Afghanistan, to make sure that we've still got access to Iran.
Yep.
I actually think if we're going to do that,
the only risk of that... Well, I was going to say... Sorry, Shez, go on. I talked over you.
If we're going to do that and put 2 into France, the problem is he could take France with China.
That's what I was going to say. But DEFCON would be 5, so we could then try realigning at +2.
Yeah, so that's good. So we can do that, in fact. But then if we're going to put 1 into Afghanistan, why don't we put 1 into Pakistan? If you coup Pakistan, we get a coup you can't respond to in Thailand, potentially.
Exactly.
Where you could respond with China. I mean, the thing about Asia is we've kind of lost Asia anyway, haven't we?
It's going to be tough to come back from this, I think, in Asia. I guess the reason to play into Afghanistan or Pakistan as well is if we don't and he coups Iran, then we've lost access
Nothing.
potentially to the east of the Middle East. So 3 options of play. We've had a few minutes to discuss this action round, so we should probably come to a decision.
I like Jimmy's suggestion of 2 into France, tempt him to tempt him to go in, and we realign. And I would say 1 in Pakistan, but 1 in Afghanistan is equally good.
Strong feelings about Pakistan, Jimmy?
Personally, I'd go Afghanistan because it doesn't drop the DEFCON.
And we want to keep DEFCON at 5.
Or,
rather than
higher.
playing Pakistan, he coups and we counter-coup. Because then he can take France, you're right, actually. So we do want to keep DEFCON up. All right, I'm on the Afghanistan side, Shez. He's won me over. We've got our first 2-1 vote. All right. So let's kill De Gaulle from our tracker. We'll see if he... Of course, if he does fish for France, we need to use, I guess, duck and cover to take our rear lines.
Well, we could use Fidel, couldn't we?
Yeah,
use it anyway,
that's true.
right?
Two realignments might do the job at +2. Let's see. Let's see what happens next. If he is low on ops, I guess a coup on Iran might happen. Oh, look, he's got a 4-op card.
He's fallen for it.
Okay.
Okay.
He's spread influence around. I always think of those as kind of insipid plays, personally, because yes, you're spreading stuff around the board, but you're not impacting the board position in a kind of terrifying fashion anywhere. Should we play 2 into France, 1 into Iraq, perhaps? Or 2 into France, 1 into Costa Rica?
Or you think
use Fidel just to take France?
I think maybe he's got CIA up his sleeve if he's keeping DEFCON high, and he did have a 4-op.
Maybe, but he's played into Algeria, so I guess he's offering us a CIA coup anyway. I'm inclined to take France now before disaster strikes.
Definitely take France. Do we take it with Fidel or do we take it with Duck? If we take it with Duck, where do we put the extra 1?
And I feel like since we don't have somewhere we immediately think playing in, we probably keep our ops close to our chest and just play Fidel. Yeah.
But then we're letting him just walk into Pakistan.
But at some point DEFCON has to lower and we can counter coup Pakistan or Thailand. I guess the question is, does he want to keep
Duck for the big coup then?
So we want to keep our duck and cover for our coup. That's our biggest coup card. So Fidel into France. And then if he does anything funny, like taps France, we can use Truman. But we'll keep that up our sleeve for now. All right.
It's spreading in the new world. Red wave.
I know, right? We'll deal with that. But it looks like, unless he's going for control, it doesn't look like he's got Asia scoring this turn. So the question is whether we can do something about it sooner rather than later. I want to
think how we can spike it. The other thing is NASA playing NASA out and then taking the first coup on NASA.
Yep. Forcing him to coup Iran to drop DEFCON 3 and keep Asia safe. And then we can walk into Pakistan. Yeah.
Or we can coup, or we can get the last coup with duck and cover.
We don't drop
DEFCON
by cooing with it, though, do we?
Okay. If we get the first coup, so if we're taking the first coup with NATO, he gets the second coup, we get the last coup.
Duck and cover. Yeah, I'm with you. Sorry. Race it down.
And it might be that we don't even want to coup.
Sorry, say again?
We might not, depending on how things go, we might not want to coup. If we don't have any vulnerable two stabs in Asia, we might be happy with the DEFCON staying at 3.
We may. Let's see where he plays. More influence spread.
Do you reckon? I think it's either NASA and a coup against 2-op, 2 influence Egypt, or dropping Europe straight away.
I'm inclined to cash personally, but I'm open to the debate.
I'll go for cash in. Yeah, cash in.
Get off to a strong start until Asia scoring appears. It looks like he's not got Middle East scoring yet either, because he would have taken an Iran coup by now. All right, we're scoring then.
For it.
Let's do it. Okie dokie.
7-0.
I know, right? Yeah, let's see if we can race to 20. It's a shame we can't 5-year plan away Asia scoring. I reckon he'll take a coup now. And then we just have to decide if we go for Thailand or somewhere else.
Oh,
so 2 battlegrounds in Austria?
absolutely.
Yeah, not worried about Finland? Or do you want to take the 2 out of Finland to prevent D-style?
Put a bit of pressure on for European control later.
Yeah. So Austria or Finland? Austria?
Yeah.
I usually take Austria. Of course, he's got adjacency through France anyway, but worth asking the question. Let's see if this is a coup. And if it is, I would reckon it will be Iran. No, he's still going influence.
No, he's in no hurry.
Clearly, yeah. Ambling.
This is really hard watching the stream. I'm desperately trying not to click on countries to try and remove it.
So what do you think? Do you think now is the time to use NASA?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
Wait.
It's all right. I won't trigger just yet. So we've resolved the event first.
If we use NASA, are you suggesting we coup, but then
it would be on a 2-stab. It would have to be Libya or Algeria, wouldn't it? Pragmatically. Libya or Algeria seem like the obvious targets. We want to hold socialist governments for blockade, so it's really NASA, Truman, or Duck.
The other thing that we could do with NASA is spreading the to countries. We could get out of Panama into Costa Rica.
Yeah, into Costa Rica or Iran to Iraq, but obviously we've got adjacency to Iran through Afghanistan for now. I guess one thing we do need to watch out with the DEFCON being high is if he plays into Iraq and tries to realign us out of all these areas. Because with DEFCON above 3.
Here's the other deal. If we do a one-op coup on anything, and he then coups Iran, you can't coup Asia.
That's right.
Yeah.
If I wonder if we take a coup on Thailand now, either that or we give it up. Up Asia for probably forever.
For a good long time from the look of things.
Or possibly even one into South Korea.
Ooh, it's still a 50-50 if he ends Korean War, so one in South Korea is a bit dicey.
In South Korea is not going to change Asia anyway, is it?
That's true.
I think that if we get a coup off here, I reckon it should be a strong coup, and then we don't have to coup again if we don't want to.
Well, we'll get our Milops.
I'm kind of thinking a duck coup is the thing to do.
Forcing a counter coup.
Anything is we're then left with 2 1-ops to finish the turn.
Yeah. Which is a cheap way to end. I kind of I like ditching NASA first and holding Duck for another AR. Because another final potential gambit, depending on whether or not he gets Warsaw Pact, is we could use Duck and Cover to tap East Germany and Truman Doctrine to clear it out. That's nasty. A long gambit. It's a long gambit. We might not want to do that, but it's another thought, certainly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like using NASA.
The other thing that we could try and do is hit space first. Oh, he's already spaced. Sorry.
No, we could
already
space,
spaced,
but we need to hold socialist governments for blockade. So.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So what do you think? I like getting rid of NASA first. So do we go NASA coup Libya and accept that we can't tap Thailand, or do we play one-up NASA into Malaysia to get adjacency to Thailand?
My vote, which I think is going to lose, is Duck and Cover coup.
Jimmy?
I'd rather keep ops for later in the turn, and I think I would definitely play NASA. Either play into Costa Rica or play into Malaysia.
So I like playing into Malaysia, I think, because then we've got adjacency to later in the turn.
Let's do that then.
All right. It may not be best, but at least we've decided.
Definitely like not cooing with a one-op.
Yes, agreed. Especially not with any one-stab places we could attempt. All right. Glad we've got a patient guinea pig. Okay, so he's overprotected Thailand.
You do a Truman coup on Lebanon.
I quite like that.
Great. Oh, we fail.
Oh, Crow, you're
Sorry, guys.
rolling. Come
I
on.
know.
It's all right. Puts a bit of scoring pressure on him with the mid-ops now, though.
That's right. And we'll get the last coup of the turn, I guess. Even if he blockades us. So he's got to get some mill-ops somehow this turn. Where's he going, Iran? Yeah. Oh, boy. Come on.
What do we hit?
I think we have to hit the Middle East because of being presenceless and dominated, right?
Libya or Iran is the question.
I would
prefer.
Sorry, go on. What do you prefer?
Prefer Iran.
Right, let's do it then.
Okay.
So that gives us access to Iraq.
Here we go. Come on.
Well done, Crow.
I'll get all the ones out my system before.
Pass the dice over to Sheds.
I know, right?
That's a nice hand.
We've got a lot of 4-ops, but unfortunately we have Asia scoring. Yeah. So.
Can we Red Scare Purge him with that?
I think we can afford to, right? We've got 4, 8, 11 clean ops if we purge.
Purge the crap out of him.
Yeah, so we could be in trouble here, because if he's got Middle East scoring and we drop Asia for being dominated, life is not sweet. But I still think Purge looks nice.
Purge is the way to go.
At least we've got the 8 on the board.
Indeed, yes. And what's the 8?
US-Japan doesn't do anything for us, does it? So before we get going, so Red Scare Purge, then I think because we're holding Korean, we can try and even the scoring up a little bit.
Yep.
It depends if there's a coup. Or,
yeah, coup first.
South Korea.
All right. We like Purge though. We don't want a 5-year plan M, and NATO's not going to trigger, and US-Japan is effectively wasting an op.
Purging.
Right. Good. Consensus. Blockade. Right. So do we ditch Socialist or Suez?
Let's get rid of Suez because we're definitely not playing it.
Happy?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, fine.
I'm usually agnostic, right? Some people criticize the stream, like, why did you throw away a starred event?
I mean, my inclination would be to dump Socialist because Suez, if we play it, is not coming back.
But we're not playing Suez. It's a 4-op loss.
It's 4 for 3.
We're going to play one.
I guess the problem is that we'll lose access. We could lose access to the entire Middle East. We'd have to play into Jordan, at the very least, if we do play Suez. So it's a dicey time to play Suez.
I'm not advocating playing it. I'm just saying, if I had to play one of the two, it'd be that.
I don't think it makes a difference because we're gonna blockade away one. We're gonna hold Korean and space the other one.
We won't have a hold card.
We will not have a hold card. That's right. Blockade's done for that.
So then I think we've got to space Suez because Socialist we can repair with itself.
All right.
With that,
we'll go Suez, and we'll see if it comes back to haunt us. Because obviously, if it comes back into our enemy's hand, so blockade is gone. I'm not holding 8 cards. Yeah, Middle East scoring drops for a bomb, but that means we can get a coup on Pakistan because DEFCON's 4. So do we get our coup? And the Indo-Pakistani war is gone. So we're hoping for a nice big coup on Pakistan.
Yeah, we've got to.
When did IP War go?
Last turn. Played it. Okay. That was his last AR coup.
I mean, if we win the coup, we still get dominated in Asia. But what else are we going to do? We've got a coup, haven't we?
We've got a coup, but also we can get out of it with 2 in South Korea. Or that's probably his next move.
Okay, actually, Jimmy, you're right. We put 2 in South Korea, and then we pop 1 in Colombia because he's going to coup Panama. His reaction is to coup Panama
to get DEFCON down.
No, but just
I can
that's
see that.
His coup.
I can see that for sure.
That's his only coup.
Other thing we could do. He's only got 3 ops unless he plays the China card. We could force. He's still holding potentially CIA, so he might not be able to take drop DEFCON that much. So we could pop 2 into South Korea and tap Pakistan.
Yeah, but that he can repent Pakistan. He can He can repair Pakistan fairly easily doing that. I like Shez's suggestion.
That gives us access to India. We have a.
That's true. We need to spend 4 ops on that, so he'd need to use a 3-op card to repair Pakistan and cover India.
He might.
We're going to tap Pakistan. We might as well just do Pakistan, right?
So Jimmy's suggestion is if we take South Korea and tap Pakistan, we can then take India and Japan to go 3-all in battlegrounds.
But he would only need a 3-op card played for 2 ops to put 1 in Pakistan, 1 in India.
That's true. If we try and get him to take a coup, we can always try and race non-battlegrounds, taking Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines.
We could do.
But we need
2 into South Korea.
First.
We could do 2 into South Korea, 1 into Colombia, and 1 into either Malaysia or Panama.
I think if we're going 2 prongs, I like 2 in South Korea and 1 in Colombia, which incites them looking the other way. I think, again, I want to hold the 4-op cards till later in the turn to get maximum value.
Yeah. The only thing I'm not that keen on with Colombia is we haven't seen Decal yet, just D-Style yet.
We've not. So there's a 50-50 chance it's in their hand at this point.
He doesn't have it because he's played Blockade. He does. I don't think he has D-Style because he's invented Blockade.
No, he might have invented Blockade because he hasn't seen D-Style.
And he hasn't seen Defectors, so he wouldn't headline D-Style into a potential Defectors. I agree. I'm gun-shy about Colombia usually because what happens if they coup it? Then we have to end up in a coup war with Colombia to make sure they don't start walking through South America. Although DEFCON is still quite high. But I agree to South Korea. I think we've got consensus on that. So the question is just what card are we going to use?
The other thing we can do in Asia is race on country count.
Yes, once DEFCON drops below 4, because obviously if we play into Indonesia, it's just a coup opportunity.
I'm thinking we do 2 South Korea, 1 Colombia. Right? If he coups Colombia, we coup Pakistan. If he plays into South America, we score Asia non-dom.
So the thing is, the other thing about Colombia is if we then move into, we're going to give him a coup on Colombia, whatever, because we'll be dropping it from DEFCON 3 to DEFCON 2 if we respond to a coup, and then having to move into Venezuela before he can hit Colombia.
Yeah. All right, we've been 20 minutes to do a turn and a headline and an action round, so we're going to have to pick up our pace. 2 in South Korea.
Definitely.
I vote 2 South Korea and 1 Colombia. That's my vote, and I'm happy to be outvoted.
Where's your 3rd op going, Jimmy?
Or
4th, if you use a 4-op card.
I'd use 3, either Costa Rica, or possibly Asia. One of the start racing the country count.
Okay,
Afghanistan, maybe.
So the compromise is to be closer to Shez. We'll go 2 South Korea, 1 Costa Rica, which is almost what you wanted, Shez, but not quite.
Sounds good.
Story of your life. There we go. It is decided. And then, yes, if he coups Panama now, there's CIA.
CIA.
So we get to see the rest of the hand. He has got Decal, which is a nightmare for advancing the cause in Southeast Asia as well. Remain in abdication, independent Reds, NORAD, and special relationship.
Oh.
So he's letting us take our op first. So what do we think?
Well, it's not going to be an effective coup if he does coup, so maybe start the country count race now.
Coup in Lao?
Or
coup in Lao with CIA and then coup Pakistan.
Well, if we coup Lao and he either counter coups Lao or drops DEFCON,
No, it's us next as well.
Yes, but
No,
he's still
him,
got the op to
right.
use. I like cooing Lao because he either has to counter coup Lao and leave DEFCON at 4 for us to coup Pakistan.
So he hasn't seen our hand, so there's a fair chance it's going to be independent Reds coming.
Yeah, but remember he's got this op to use first.
So it's not going to be a big next coup, I don't think.
No.
It's not.
But I suspect he'll one-op coup Panama here with CIA
Yeah.
after we've couped.
Okay.
So if we coup Lao, we kind of force him to
coup
to drop DEFCON, or we can walk into Pakistan.
If we want to coup Pakistan, a 4-op, then I think we've got to put the CIA op in Colombia. But I know why we don't like that.
I'd go with Cronus and coup into Lao.
Let's do that then.
Let's do it.
Pass the dice to someone else, Crow.
There we go.
Okay.
You're welcome. I suspect we'll see coup Panama here. Because he'll be thinking, I can't let them coup on Pakistan.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to coup Panama.
But then we could try starting to race country count, because of course we've got NATO and US Japan. So if we go Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, then he events decol.
We could go Malaysia, Indonesia, and then tap.
Yes, that's also viable, because then we've got a 4-op to take India if we want. Let's see what he does. He may just counter coup Lao and back to drawing board.
Oh, well, he'll have to row high, and surely he's due a 1.
One would hope so. I can't roll them all myself.
That works.
That's the way probability works, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, realignment. Fancy.
Hold on. What haven't we seen?
Okay. Coup on Pakistan?
Think so.
With NATO?
With NATO.
Yeah.
I'm up for it.
Okay.
Let's. So we're looking for a 4, 5, or 6 will do because he's purged, right? Come on, roll high. Good enough.
Oh, yes.
That's okay.
Just
he can't,
because he can't use the China card to flip that due to his.
Can we push for domination?
We could try to. So he'll take India here to go through.
Isn't he?
And possibly one of the small ones as well. Okay.
So do we just take Japan to go
Quite
through
nice.
3?
One of my we've got a chance to. I think we need to do that, but I'm a bit worried about the Middle East.
I couldn't agree more, but I think we don't have any clean ops to deal with the Middle East, do we? Korean War could trigger.
Asia. We can't get them done. I wonder if.
Should we go 3 Japan, 1 Jordan to make sure we don't get realigned out in the Middle East? Because Arab-Israeli war could clean us out fully. I like 3 Japan, 1 Jordan to be level on Asia before dropping the scorer.
That's good.
Happy with that, Jimmy?
Wait, 3 Japan, 1 Jordan sounds brilliant, doesn't it?
I'm concerned about Arab-Israeli war, and we also have to deny domination, bearing in mind he's got decol, so we can't do stuff in Southeast Asia without decol frigging it up. So I feel like we're stuck on that.
It does make Korean War a little more playable than Japan.
Marginally more playable, yes, this is true. If we're feeling like gamblers, and we do want to see DEFCON drop again because of Pakistan.
I'm wondering if we have to put that op in Middle East. It's been schooled. I know it's a bit of a risk, but we know he hasn't got Arab-Israeli, don't we?
Arab-Israeli's still out there.
Yeah, but look at the CIA play. He's showing us his hand.
That's true. He's not holding it now, but he may get it next turn.
I think that.
And it's a standard headline.
If we put one, instead of putting it in Jordan, if we put it in Indonesia, then we're denying him a decol way of.
All he can do is level up there then, if he events it.
I see what you mean, because your country counts the same. Yeah, in which case you'll play super.
I think because of the battleground situation, at least for this turn, what we need to do is make sure DEFCON drops so he can't realign Pakistan.
No, that's good. That's good. I'm with you.
Yeah, Jimmy?
Go.
Yep. Sorry, was that a yes?
Yes, yep, I concur.
Sorry, that's fine. Want to make sure you're not being overruled. You've got to have a voice. All right. So we're hoping to drop Asia for 0. He's still holding all 5. That's fine. So he can only use NORAD to tap one of Pakistan, South Korea. That's the only way he can tap. So I think we'll get Asia this turn. Yep, and he's dropped DEFCON down. So now we really only fear Indo-Pakistani war
That's right.
for the 50-50 on Pakistan.
Yep. So we're dropping
Asia's
Asia.
for 0.
Wait.
Yeah.
Before we do this, before we play this, we consider. I know Korean War is something we don't want to play, but we consider putting one in Angola. Is there a point in it? No, he's got decol.
We'd have to use socialist governments, I guess, event and repair as best as we can, and play into Angola.
I'd rather get Asia out of the way first.
Yeah, because my concern is if he reads us for Asia scoring, having just used US-Japan to take Japan, if he taps a country with NORAD and we end up being forced to play it for domination, that's the worst of all worlds.
I play
Asia.
Alright, we'll ditch it.
I said I don't like having a scoring card as my last card of the turn.
No, because you want to do something, I guess. Although there's not a lot of something we can do with a neutral card and a bad card. I agree that we're kind of stuck on it, Angola here. It's just happening. And Africa does not look good. So are we spacing? Are we gambling on missing the 5 or 6 on Korean War?
We're spacing socialist governments.
Yeah.
And if we miss, we're then forced to event Korean War AR6.
Is it better to space Korean War?
I think it is, because at the moment a 5 or a 6 swings it back to domination for them for turn 3, gives them the mill ops so they don't lose a VP at the end of the round. I think more can go wrong with Korean War than socialist governments.
Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah? Jimmy?
Space Korean.
Cool. Oh, good. Well, now we can space socialist governments if we want, or we can event and repair it and do something else. He's used special relationship, hasn't he? He's spacing NORAD. He has used independent reds. I'm looking at the wrong. So independent reds is gone. NORAD space. So he's holding special relationship and Romanian abdication to finish. So what do we think?
Actually, he's going to pop one into the UK, isn't he?
He can't because he's purged.
So
we're going to get to overprotect France anyway.
Space socialist then.
I think space.
Space, because the alternative is we event it, see what he does, and if he takes 2 out of the UK, we can put.
He'll take 2 out of France, 1 out of West Germany. We'll have to repair it.
That's right. Okay, space. See if we can get to the 2 VP square first.
The D-style might be coming next.
It may. We hope we get it in our hands.
Marshall Plan containment. Containment.
All right, we did not get D-style. That's bad news.
Okay.
But we got purge again. Oh, Middle Eastern scoring though. Yuck.
We purge him again.
It's a crazy hand for ops. We can absolutely afford to purge him because we've got so many ops. We just need to make sure we get presence in the Middle East, I guess. But D-style is happening, right?
What's our hold card? A containment, maybe?
Containment for AR for turn 4, I guess, yeah.
I like it.
We need to also fade Pakistan, Indo-Pakistan war here. Because if he's got that, it's a 50-50 on domination in Asia again.
I'm not sure what. I mean, all we can do. I'm not sure what we can do with that.
We've got Arab-Israeli, so we could push into Israel. We could fill up Saudi Arabia, maybe. We could play for. Because he hasn't got a great coup option, has he?
Just Panama, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Panama's going. I can't see it holding out again.
All right, so
have we worked out what he must have?
Oh yeah, so he's holding Formosa Resolution, which, if he doesn't flip Pakistan, we might be able to effect domination with. Formosa Resolution, defectors, special relationship, D-style, Romanian abdication, and UN intervention. So he'll probably, I don't know, he could event Romanian abdication to then get the ops to D-style with. Although he's got spare ops. He's got an op in Egypt, 1 in Finland, 1 in Vietnam, so he probably won't. What do we think? Do we purge?
Purge.
We've still got 11 to 14 clean ops.
I think purge.
He's going to love us. If there's one thing we can all agree on.
I wonder if our plan is to actually space Arab-Israeli and hold Warsaw Pact. Oh, you want to hold containment, don't you?
Ideally, I think so. Let's just double check Twitch, because it doesn't look like anyone's come running.
Shame we've
No,
got NATO almost.
it's just started broadcasting on stream. We're 5 minutes in.
What are we doing?
On Twitch. Did I say Steam? I meant Twitch. So Middle East scoring, I guess we want to take we want to take Saudi Arabia or Iraq to make sure we at least have a battleground in the Middle East.
Yeah. Although, is it worth taking Israel because that remains unaffected by Muslim revolutions?
It does. I guess we need to
We're
watch out for
spacing Arab-Israeli.
I guess I don't know. It's quite a focus, but if he's purged, an option is we try taking Iraq, Saudi, and Israel to level up after he coups. It's 4 ops, then 3 ops, then 4 ops, which is a lot of our cards. Yeah, so he has gone Romanian abdication to get D-style ops. It's expensive, but I guess the Middle East is the thing that can really do for us at the moment, all assuming he's not holding any
I don't think it's worth filling up the Middle
11
East.
ops. Yeah, so we're going to accept being dominated, but not controlled.
Africa's a worry as well.
It is, but he's going to drop DEFCON right now. And
then we take Angola.
Take Angola with a 4-op card to overprotect it. Although we know 5 of his 7 cards, so if he doesn't use one of the 5 we know about, we'll be able to work out fairly quickly if he's got a 4-op card he can use to... The only 4-op card's a nuclear test ban in US Japan. So this is Panama.
Hit the op.
Missed again.
Oh, lovely.
Can't help it if we're lucky. So what do we want to do?
I think we take Angola for sure.
Do we just flip it with 3 ops, or do we flip it and overprotect with 4?
We don't need to overprotect yet, do we?
He's purged, so I wouldn't overprotect, because if he's playing a
he has to use a 4-op
to
card
flip
to flip
it back.
Yeah, that's not very good use of ops, is it? Although he will de-stall 2 into South Africa to set up a realign. So do we actually want to play
which case
South
we
Africa?
could take Zaire.
I don't think he's going to de-style into South Africa. He doesn't have the ops under purge to do it. He's going to de-style into South Africa.
He can take them out of Romania to de-style. But you're right, he should focus on South America.
He's going to go to South America. I reckon we still we take Angola and put 1 into Colombia.
I reckon
ahead of D-Star.
Yeah, ahead of D-Star. Because when you've got D-Star, you've got no ops.
And that forces him to play into Venezuela.
Yeah, so he'll have to put 2 into Venezuela, which is better than 1-1-1-1.
That's right.
Hold on 1 sec.
Yeah,
one sec.
I won't commit, but I'm laying out the board as Shez proposes.
So rather than competing to stop least domination, we could just get a cheap presence in Jordan, into Jordan, and then flip Angola.
I did notice that as well. That's
I don't think
5.
that cheap presence is going anywhere, is it?
Yeah, I feel like we have a chance to do that, and I actually quite like Shez's suggestion that if he does then event D-Style, forcing him to play 2 into Venezuela. I mean, we're accepting D-Style's going to happen, but we're actually making it more on our terms.
Okay, let's go with that then.
We'll see how it goes.
I mean, he's purged. Do we want to do something a bit like not worry about Angola for the time being? Pop 2 into Colombia, maybe.
I don't think 2 does a lot more than 1, since if he coups, we can counter-coup to get our mill-ops. So we'd want to be doing something outrageous.
The play into Angola makes him worried about Zaire as well.
That's true.
That's true.
So let's go Colombia and say if you're going to use D-Style, you have to use 2 of the 4 ops in Venezuela. Yeah?
Yeah.
Happy, Jimmy? Content?
Yep.
What's the word? Not necessarily happy, but willing. All right, so I expect we'll see an event of D-Style here, and I think we'll go 2 Venezuela, 1 Chile, 1 Mexico, maybe?
The brilliant thing
I think we're kind of running out of turns. I do think at some point we need to get presence. We're holding Middle East.
Oh, I agree. Next AR we should be taking Jordan, I think. But I think we could afford to wait a turn.
I think we can wait even more, and I think if he puts 2 into Venezuela, I think we break it.
Forcing him to then play 2 into Brazil while under purge and holding very few ops.
If he's got 1 in Brazil already, we can put 2. We can just play 2 or 3 into Venezuela.
Here it comes. So 3 out of Oh no, he left the 3 in Romania. 2 in Venezuela. Well, okay, so now tapping Brazil seems less attractive. Tapping Venezuela.
I think we still do it. He's purged. I still think we maybe take a 4-op like Marshall Plan, play 3 into Venezuela.
Yeah.
And another one in Venezuela.
Happy, Jimmy? That does
It's
make
bold.
him sink for it.
Yeah, and then I guess if he repairs, we get one of Brazil or Venezuela.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
fair enough.
So of his 5 cards, we know 2 of them are 1 and 2 ops.
Yeah.
So he's not got many cards we don't know about. Although I think because he kept 3 in Romania, we want to watch Europe domination in case he's going to try and sneakily deny Europe if he happens to be holding Europe scoring.
We don't have anything
he didn't take 3 out of Romania.
We don't have anything that's too worrying on that front though in terms of our hand.
Because we can tip that up. So are we happy with that? Just pumping Venezuela?
If we don't do it now, we may not get the chance.
That's true. And then before we know, we're controlled in South America. All right, we're doing it. It's done. It is committed. So we know he's got Formosa, Special Relationship, and UN Intervention. So worst case scenario, he's got UN Intervention, has been dealt US-Japan. But that's the worst case scenario. So next they are, we're taking one of Venezuela and Brazil, and if we've got an op to spare, putting one in Jordan? Question mark?
That's good.
Yeah, I have a slight worry about running out of time
Yes.
to get into Jordan.
Because like you said, we don't want to be playing the scoring card
2
AR6.
ops.
All right, so duck and cover, 1 into Venezuela, 1 into Jordan, 1 somewhere else.
Well, I've got Formosan now.
So 1 into Taiwan. What if we go 1, 2, 3?
So Korean War is still out there somewhere. So Taiwan's not entirely daft, is it?
No, not at all. And it will give us 4-3 if we fade it. Pakistan War as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We
6,
can aim
8.
for 8, can't we?
Yeah. 4 ops gives us 8 and a 4-3 split.
Another thing to keep an eye on is, do we want to? I mean, if we're not going to fill up Taiwan, it doesn't make much difference.
I quite like it because it's currently, that would be what gives us domination if we can dodge Korean War and Indo-Pakistani War.
Okay. And the other option to consider is trying to fill up Mexico, but maybe we don't have ops for that.
I don't think we do right now. But you're right, we want to avoid junta and liberation theology.
Yeah.
But I quite like, we've been given an opportunity in Asia we should probably try and grasp and praise not holding Indo-Pakistani War.
I think that's
good.
At some point we're going to take Arab-Israeli for space as well, because we've got a chance for headline picking.
I agree. That would be good. Should we go with that?
I think so.
All right. It is done. So yes, if Jordan doesn't get tapped, we drop Middle East scoring next.
I think so.
Space Arab-Israeli 5, AR6 Warsaw Pact. Hold containment.
The only thing I hate giving him Warsaw Pact before Europe's being scored.
Let's hope
he's
here.
Going to set up realignments. Okay. Oh.
So he's cleared it out. We can't coup it. I think do we drop Middle East scoring now? We may
I think so, because if he plays into Colombia next, then we can coup Colombia to put the realign.
Yep. So drop Middle East.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that makes Arab-Israeli more playable as well. If in a pinch we needed to play that rather than go to space.
Indeed, it's now a 5 or a 6 thanks to Jordan at least.
I actually think it's better to play Arab-Israeli and actually place Warsaw Pact, because Europe hasn't been scored yet, has it?
Europe hasn't, and Truman is still alive, so there's a big incentive to try and make John Paul extra pressure. So yeah. I agree in principle. If we're gonna gamble, or if he plays into Colombia, cooing with Arab-Israeli war might be better because it's cheaper and we can space Warsaw Pact.
Exactly, I'll go with that.
What if he doesn't play into Colombia? I guess is the question.
That's okay. We're going to do with
France,
that.
or Canada. NORAD's gone, right? France for
yeah,
overprotect. Because Suez is still out there and socialist governments.
Suez is.
Yeah.
France.
Okay. So if he plays into Colombia, we're happy to coup it. What if he doesn't? Because then we are left with the dilemma. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so he overprotects Zaire.
Okay.
So do we play 2 Arab-Israeli into South Africa? Do we play Warsaw Pact and accept it? Do we space one or the other?
I think we space now, because We want to keep our coup in case he
Yep.
plays Colombia
And Chez's
next turn.
gambit is Warsaw Pact to keep Europe light. Yeah? That's your argument?
My argument is we keep Arab-Israeli for a coup in case he plays into Colombia next turn.
Yeah. The problem with spacing Warsaw first, if we miss, we have to play Arab-Israeli war. Because... Oh no, sorry, if we miss with Warsaw Pact, we could space again. If we succeed with Warsaw Pact, we have to use Arab-Israeli war. And we may not have a coup target.
It's more flexible to go to space Arab-Israeli war, and then you have the choice of what to do with Warsaw Pact.
Yep, and now we've not been given a coup target. I do like 2 before 3.
The problem is, if we don't have something to coup with, we can just play into Colombia and set up the rear line. And I would rather give him an Arab-Israeli shot than give him 5 influence in Europe to prevent us storming.
So, why don't we space Arab-Israeli war, and if he plays into Colombia or I6, we use containment, hoping that we get something better than containment to headline turn 4. ABM, Junta, Grain Sales, Voice of America, da-da-da-da-da-da.
I think the least flexible thing is to try and play Arab-Israeli war last. So I'd rather play it now, and then we've got more options, whatever we decide to do.
And I think spacing Arab-Israeli war is good, and I think that's where Jimmy was thrusting.
Yeah.
So let's do that. But you, as long as you feel heard, Chez. That's the important thing.
Heard.
That's right. It's important you feel heard. We got there, so we're peaking.
Lines.
So apparently I can roll nice and low when it comes to space as well as coups. That's all right.
I guess the other good thing about keeping Warsaw Pact is it's an...
dang it! If only we'd taken Taiwan. Oh well. Hindsight's 2020. Space Warsaw? Hold containment?
No, I don't think a spacing last round is weak. I think we break something. Maybe we break Brazil, or we fill Mexico.
Yeah, 2 into Brazil with containment to go 2-2.
I like that because an AR1 coup can be paired or
if we get Junta, we can take Brazil and coup somewhere else. Should we do that? Happy Chez?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, it's a shame we didn't get to keep containment to the next turn, but at least we've got Warsaw Pact to space. Although we're now forced to play Liberation Theology if we get it.
I mean, we could play Warsaw. If we play Warsaw, it just means we're potentially in an ops race in Europe, which is not the worst thing.
I feel like if holding on to containment actually unpicks a lot of the potential damage that Warsaw Pact does. Because we'd have more ops.
I'm happy to go with it.
The other thing about it is we've seen quite a lot of high ops cards. No, we've got the reshuffle coming. We've already seen
mid-war added.
Sorry, that's what I mean. We've seen cover. We've seen NATO. We've what else did we see that was high up? We've seen Red Scare Purge.
Yep.
So
the only 4 card left is nuclear test ban in US Japan.
So it's going. I think containment would quite likely be of some use next round.
It could be a turn 4 headline, assuming we don't get any of the gold cards.
I'm convinced. Yeah, let's do it.
So use Warsaw Pact to pump Brazil. Yeah.
So Warsaw Pact can be really horrible in the last.
That's true. If he events John Paul, knowing Warsaw Pact might come back in late war, it might undo whatever damage we do. Okay, we're doing that. Kill Warsaw Pact and bring containment back to our hand and add the mid-war cards. Right, cool. Tracker's updated. So we're going in at -3, which is slightly ahead of par, -5, I like to think. We are forced to play 2 op cards, which is a problem.
He's not even pushing us in Europe. He's just playing defensive.
Yeah, and we're not super well developed. So did we get the only other headline we got was Cuban Missile Crisis, which means he'd just then take Brazil at DEFCON 2, right? So do we still go containment? I think this is a containment-y hand. We're going to make way more than 5 containment. And do we hold our snot to the next turn?
Yeah, I mean that's a really kind hand. So there must be. Oh, there's probably a lot of nastiness out there somewhere.
Yeah, or he could have Puppet Government's Grain Sales, Voice of America, Camp David. Oh, he's going Liberation Theology.
We're getting controlled in Central America.
Potentially, yeah, because he'll go 2 Mexico, 1 Panama, and coup Panama, yeah? In which case we can try realigns on Mexico and Cuba, especially if we contain. Or Panama
I think containment.
returned. I like containment here. Shez?
Yeah.
All right. Well, event containment. And I'll keep plugging in the old tracker. U2 incidents only going for one. Only going for one VP because we've seen UN intervention go last turn. So Suez, we can event and repair because it's a 4-op card, but it's obviously our space card actually. It's our only one we want to space this turn. So I guess Suez goes off to space.
Just keep Suez in case he tries a cheeky
East European unrest. Miss. Oh, so he's gone Brazil. So do we take Panama here to make sure we avoid control?
We definitely do.
I think, but I also think that he might have
Brush war or something.
Or South America, maybe.
So do we go 2 Panama, 1 Colombia, and then say if you want to come after us, we're going to keep counter-coupping Colombia?
No, we don't go 1 into Colombia. We let him go and then we coup it.
Okay.
We've got the opposite advantage as well.
Do we go 2 Panama, overprotect Angola, South Africa to protect
against? I think we go 2 Panama, overprotect Angola, and put 1 into what's that country next to Cuba?
Nicaragua. Yeah, if he then
realign.
Yeah, threaten realigns, and then he's forced to respond in Nicaragua. And so what are we saying? We're saying which card as well? Eastern European unrest? Because we're not going to event that.
That's useful
so the proposal on the table is that, which says we're going to realign you out of Cuba, unless you
the problem is if he coups Nicaragua, he's doming.
Yeah, but we then just counter-coup.
Just before you pull the trigger on that one,
no worries.
He's got access to Portugal and Greece, so and
this is a
Turkey.
So do we want to put 2 in there?
Might be worth, because he could race us in regardless of brush war. I wasn't thinking Greece. I was thinking more Spain, Portugal.
Although that gives us access to Turkey.
That's true.
So Portugal dead ends us.
I think
and 2 in Panama to make sure that he doesn't.
I think no. I think we definitely have to over control Angola. Absolutely have to put 1 into Angola.
All right, so that means if we go there and 2 into Greece, then a 3-op card takes Panama.
It has to be
we don't need Greece straight away.
So 1 in Greece for access.
We need the access, I think, because he can't take them all at once. We just want to stop him from taking Greece and Portugal and at the same time, and 1-op does that, I think.
Okay, happy with that?
I'm happy with
consensus. Good.
Yeah.
I'll click on that then. Otherwise, we'll be here till midnight.
God no.
We're doing all right. So we've taken 40 minutes to get through the first third. That suggests we'll take 2 hours to get through the lot. So we're behind a 90-minute pace quite considerably. Worth bearing in mind.
Yeah. To be fair, our
we're all talking a lot.
Our opponent has taken 15 whole minutes.
I know, right? To our 40.
Give him the hurry up in the chat.
He seems very patient. Yeah, that's right. TikTok. Oh, okay. So he didn't event it. So he's going Colombia. Okay. He's doing the old "I'll realign you and I'll dominate Central America." Do we accept that we're going to be dominating Central America and coup Colombia to make sure we don't lose access?
You can have a go at realigning Colombia and then Mexico.
We can, because we're +1 on realigning Colombia. Should we use a 4-op card to do that? U2 incident?
What are our additional realign targets? Is Angola, Algeria and Zaire?
I think priority goes Colombia, then Mexico, because no other access but junta. So Colombia, then Mexico, then Zaire if we're lucky, or Nigeria
then Chile.
If we're lucky.
So then Chile.
Or Chile, yeah, to deny. I still think it's optimistic to think even with 4-ops we'll clean out Colombia and Mexico. I think we'll probably spend 4 doing that.
So priority 1's Colombia, then Mexico, isn't it?
And then Chile if we have a bonus.
Yeah, okay.
Happy? What were you going to say the problem was?
Oh, I was just going to say you can put 1 back in Colombia, but then if we've cleaned out Mexico, it's okay. If we haven't cleaned out Mexico, it gets worse.
That's right. We've lost tempo if he does that, but it could be worse. We can afford a little bit of tempo loss, I think. So do we use U2 incident?
I'm just wondering if it's worth killing Colombia and just accepting the risk on Central America.
Although
I don't
it
think
goes from
he's
5
holding
to
South
1.
America.
I don't think he is, but I think he stands to realign Venezuela, and he'd do that before
Exactly.
dominating Central America. I like the realign personally because I think it gives us the opportunity to gain a lot of tempo if we're lucky, and not be that much worse off than cooing Colombia if we're relatively unlucky.
Yeah, I'd go realign.
All right.
All right.
You two incident.
Yeah,
Keep our own 4-op cards for
I
later,
think so.
and hand over a VP. So there you go. 60% of the time, it works every time. 2. Come on. 3. Yay! Big money, no whammies, and stop. Yay!
Oh, that's all right.
So now he can't drop Central America scoring, although he may just spend a 2-op card to our 4-op card to put
We're
us
going to be in the
exactly
same
back.
place again.
That's right.
We're
In
gonna be
which case
exactly
we
the same
decide,
place.
do we do it again, or do we change tack?
Other thing is we can probably race him. Not race him. We could
Play 2 in Costa Rica, 1 in Nicaragua. Although, of course, if he plays into Colombia, we're stuffed anyway. So.
or even just jam into
Just
Mexico.
the 1-op. Okay.
And
Okay.
there's
So now
So
do
he's
we?
got Central America.
Well, so do we coup Haiti?
We do.
I think it might be good to pick up Egypt because we're in a bit of a mess in the Middle East.
So-
And I know it's already scored,
so
but
do
just
we
one
go
into Egypt.
2 Costa Rica, 1 Nicaragua to level up Central America, and 1 in Egypt.
Well, in Egypt's coming. Camp David's coming, isn't it?
Yeah, and Middle East scoring's been, and we're not going to get
God,
kicked out of Israel.
I think we do a
Okay.
summit coup.
Summit coup Haiti.
Coup Haiti, yeah.
Go on then.
We get our Milops as well.
Good plan.
No one, no one. Oh, for goodness sake!
Who put you in charge of the dice?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it was Jimmy who suggested we use my stream, right? So can we blame him rather than me? Oh, hey. So we've got a couple of people. We've got Careless Gamer on chat. On Twitch. I'll ask if he can hear 3 voices. Can you hear 3 voices? That's not me with MP.
In your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a bad hand, doesn't he? He's got a bad
And
hand.
he's not spacing very well either. Puppet Government
We tr-
System. Let's just mark that off the sheet.
I wonder.
And sit down
Maybe
one.
try and jam Algeria.
Oh, I was going to
With 4
say
ops.
maybe we do 1 into Brazil, march down to Uruguay.
That's a lot of ARs and potentially a lot of lost tempo. If we play into
Well,
Brazil, he then just plays into Uruguay. And
Right, but
then we can coup it.
It forces him to put 2 into Uruguay, right?
What do we do with our other 2 ops?
We could
And
put
into
1
Nicaragua.
into,
Panama. Yeah, 1 into Nicaragua to set up realigns.
and 1 into South Africa.
So tap, Nicaragua, South Africa. You happy with that, Jimmy?
So yep.
Let's just do it then. Because if we spend 2 minutes a turn, he'll...
At some point, it's worth popping up Southeast Asia as well because we've already seen Decol.
Yeah, get ready for
Don't we?
Southeast. Oh no,
And-
Decol went turn 2, didn't it? So it's back in the reshuffle.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I agree, because Southeast Asia scoring is coming, and if we can take Malaysia, Thailand's a 50-50 brush war, not a 1 in 3. But I like taking South Africa for now, just to make sure we don't start to run up against Angola. Yep. Alright, Cuban Missile Crisis is gone.
Maybe we can try and plan a bit more on his turns.
Yeah. We need to
speed.
space Suez at some point, but yeah, I guess, because we want to hold our
or
snot,
not
right?
just
Not necessarily the next AR, but I guess we're saying 5,
We're
6, 7 are Yasuri, Suez,
we're under
Panama.
containment, so Suez can be blank.
Suez could be, so that's an incentive not to space this turn.
Is it better to space and get ahead in the space race?
Oh, we're a long way up.
We are. 1 small step's not going to do too much for us. Good. Careless Gamer can hear 3 voices. So it's working for Twitch too.
Sounds the most handsome.
We'll give him half an hour to hear that question, then he can tell us in chat. We'll anticipate. Oh,
Evolution.
nice. Lots going on. Lots going on.
Could be a. Oh, there is.
He's running a long con, isn't he? He's saying, which of the scoring cards have I got? Have I got Africa? Have I got Central America? Or am I just trying to realign you out of South America?
I'm pretty convinced he doesn't have Central, and I don't think he has any of them. To be honest with you,
I think he's
Neither
not
do
got
I.
Central America. I agree. So do we coup South America?
do
Or
Colombia.
try the realignment.
The realignment didn't. No, I mean I prefer a Panama, a 2-op Panama coup on Colombia.
The upshot of that is that we could then possibly try for Uruguay next turn through Brazil and set up our own realignment and/or take Argentina.
Yeah, if we put 2 into Uruguay and he does have a go at realigning Venezuela, then we can go into Argentina.
And we're not necessarily any worse off.
Oh,
and if he misses, we can do our own realign on Brazil.
And we could even up.
Bit of a gamble.
Could always just pop 1 into Uruguay, maybe, because he can't coup and realign.
Shares?
I like Jimmy's idea there.
Cool. Are we using Usuri, or are we just using Panama?
1 into Uruguay, 1 into South Africa.
For Southeast Asia.
And yeah, 1 into Malaysia.
Well, we have to use 4 ops because we don't have any 3 op options. So that's where we're at with 3 ops so far.
Or could we do it with Suez maybe? Because we don't.
Wait a minute. Two in Uruguay is better, isn't it? It gives us the option of realigning him.
That's true.
Yeah. So if we use Suez, we'll lose domination in Europe. Again, we don't think he's necessarily holding Europe scoring, but that's the risk of using Suez and spreading the ops elsewhere.
That's true. Okay. Let's go to Uruguay then.
2 Uruguay, 1 Malaysia, 1 South Africa.
I like it.
Yeah. Got it? Happy, Jimmy?
Good.
Yep. Good. I heard good. Yeah.
We need to space Suez at some point.
So Jimmy's point is that spacing this turn is inefficient since Suez can be evented and repaired. And I'm in on that. Okay, so
repairing is a waste of time anyway, isn't it?
So do we now use Panama to walk into Argentina? I know we run the risk.
Or to realign attempts Brazil if we're feeling erring.
I think we take.
If we're going to realign Brazil, we want to use Ars Not to maximise our chances. And of course, even if we clear all 4 out, he can walk back in. I know it's not efficient for him to walk back in, but he can via Venezuela. I kind of like taking Argentina with Panama Canal.
2 into Argentina.
And then it gives us an AR7 option on Colombia if he... This could prove...
AR7 option on Brazil.
Right. We'll do that. Panama Canal's gone from our hand and he used Allende.
It's a sad thought. Next turn we won't have Red Scare Purge or Containment.
Europe scoring.
Europe.
You dog.
Okay.
And he's going to realign on Venezuela. Let's hope he misses. Yes, he does. Let's hope he misses again.
Ooh.
And again.
Ouch.
Oh, yeah. We got there.
Space it.
Space Suez. Coup Suez with Colombia. Now Europe scoring's gone.
I don't think spacing Suez is great because with Europe scoring gone, we don't have to necessarily repair everything.
What if we event Suez, use 3 of the ops to flip Colombia the old-fashioned way, and put 1 op back into Israel, France, or UK with Suez?
Or we could spike Mexico, or...
We could. Junta's still out there. I guess my concern is that if we don't do something about Colombia, he could do the same on Venezuela again.
Yeah, that's true.
Look, if he realigns Venezuela, we walk back in.
Yeah, but then he can do it again, and then it's just a tempo loss.
Very ops intensive for him to do that. If we use the options series, let's use them somewhere a bit more aggressive.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Which is where?
Because I like the idea. He said spiking Mexico. I like that idea. Or spiking
Algeria.
That costs 2 ops. So are we agreed we're holding Ars Not? So we're going to event Suez.
I think so. Ars Not is so useful.
Okay. So should we just event Suez and see what he does first? And then we can talk a bit more. We're agreed we're eventing it while we're under containment. So he 5-year planned away Europe. I remembered Europe, but not 5-year plan. And we're eventing Suez, so we're holding 1. We don't know what he's not holding anything.
Here's something to think about. If we spike Mexico, then next go we've got the option of popping 1 next door to Mexico, threatening the rear line there as well.
So do we propose just that. And then we've got one more op.
We've already seen special relationships. They don't need the UK straight away,
Indeed.
do we? Is it
2 in Mexico.
or possibly Southeast Asia again?
Another Philippine one.
I like 2 in Mexico.
It applies the most pressure, and I like taking France, even with Suez gone, because socialist governments is still out there. And obviously, yes, Europe's scoring is gone, but we don't want to put ourselves in a position where we find ourselves way behind.
Let's go with that.
Yep. Shez?
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah,
Excellent. You tell me to stop checking with you if it starts to get annoying. I just want to make sure everyone gets their voice.
That's all right.
Is perfect.
Bear Trap, OAS. Bear Trap's nice.
That.
Colonial Rear Guards is great in Africa. Grain sales, oh boy.
Back to space.
Do we like grain sales here?
Well, we're headline peaking.
We are.
So
Shuttle dip.
it's reserve judgment.
OAS. Indeed so. We've got a lot of access cards. That's jolly nice.
Yeah.
What have we got? OPEC. OPEC is probably our space card. Oh, it's only worth 2 VP at the moment. My threshold for using OPEC is normally 3 VP. I don't like giving up
it's
3.
It's.
So do we use grain sales to deny a junta coup?
I think we have to.
I think so. Protects Panama.
Yep. And what's our
Cuts his hand size as well.
Shuttle dip. Shuttle dip. It does indeed. Although
We've got the China card.
Oh, nuclear test ban. Great. A neutral 4-op as well. Sweet. Okay, grain sales.
Nice. Oh wait.
Oh no, wait. I still have time to say no. What were you going to propose? Because it's got to be daring if it's not grain sales.
Just thinking. I mean, I know Bear Trap is used for later, but it might be interesting.
Although he's then going to get to put 2 in Ankou. He could get control of South America if he does that.
Yeah.
I think we've got to cover with grain sales.
I mean, we're not in a.
Oh man, we're using it right, and we're gambling. Asia scoring's gone. It's a 5 or a 6.
Hit.
Mexico.
No,
Nigeria?
or we could hit.
Zaire?
It's Nigeria, I think.
Nigeria. Do you agree,
I
Shez?
always.
That does deal with Africa temporarily.
Well, he's going to use junta to take Mexico and realign Venezuela.
Yeah, but and realign Venezuela. He will do that. That's true. But we may be able to use OAS to counteract it.
You might actually use junta to break Panama and then a 4-op to take control in Central America.
So do we use Korean War for the ops to take Mexico, or do we coup Mexico with it?
So I think, personally, I'd prefer to play aggressively in Africa because he's got South African unrest up his sleeve still somewhere.
He does. And if we take Nigeria, we're the ones threatening to dominate Africa. Maybe at the expense of Central America, but we've got OAS.
Though we've got colonial rear guards still.
We do, but we might want that.
Colonials for Africa. I think we've got to try a risky coup in Mexico, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jimmy?
Let's go for it.
All right. Let's resolve the event first, just to see if it goes doubly wrong.
Closing my eyes.
Misses. Now, do we miss in turn?
Yes, we don't.
We're looking for a 4, 5, or 6. No, we get a 2. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
I got one of them.
Could be worse, though. Worse.
So will he go 2 in Mexico, realign Venezuela? That's what we think. Or we might go 2 Panama and use a 4-op, like you say. In which case, we have to. Okay, no. You're right. Miss. He misses. Right, so now he's got to make a decision. And are we aggressively pursuing colonial rear guards? Would that be 1 Algeria, 1 Nigeria, 1 Zaire, 1 Thailand? Because obviously we threatened flipping Thailand with the China card.
I think Algeria, Nigeria, Thailand, and
Zaire to make it flippable, or Indonesia?
Why not? We've got the ops, haven't we?
We do.
We haven't seen Nixon yet, so I don't mind. So an early play into Ireland, and if we get the chance of using the China card to flip it, we might get it straight back the same turn.
We may. Let's see what he does. Central America is dominating, but I guess brush war is 66% to flip Panama, so you could still get Central American control that way.
I like how colonials play almost regardless of what he does.
Okay, so we're leaning towards colonial rear guards, barring something Extraordinary. If he
Oh, yeah.
realigns Venezuela, he'll get domination in South America, mind.
But we could break that with OAS.
We could, but we'd be doing that instead of using colonial rearguards. Let's see what he does. But yeah, I think we've got a few pinch points, I guess. But we have ways
OAS
of applying
into.
pressure
I
ourselves.
can never remember what's above. Is it Peru?
It is Peru, yeah.
OAS into Peru, maybe.
That's true, because then we can threaten our own realign on Chile.
OAS is so much stronger at just breaking.
I like the OAS or puppet governments to Peru just because once you realign the USSR out of Chile, it's very hard for them to get any traction in South America. Alright, lots of influence. Where's it going? Okay, so he's just trying to dominate Venezuela the old-fashioned way. Do we now do colonial rearguards to put him off balance? Bearing in mind neither of these could score for Dom.
The other thing that we could do at some point is we could event shuttle diplomacy, because that would give us domination in Asia, and Middle East and Asia aren't gonna.
Both these scoring cards have dropped, so they're not coming back for 2 turns. We may want to do that, but we may want to use the ops. I think that's
that's
a
the
tempo
first
question for later.
Bear
So I think
Bear
we
Trap
now?
AR7? Bear Trap either now or AR7, right?
it's either Bear Trap AR7 or OAS AR7, right?
Yeah, that's true. We've got 2 options. So given we have OAS, now might be the time to Bear Trap. Worst case scenario, he ditches Voice of America, John Paul, Nuclear Subs, or Nixon.
It's gone nowhere on space anyway, so.
I kind of think Bear Trap AR7 is just very, very, very strong.
Okay, so Colonial Rearguards or OAS or something else.
I think I prefer OAS.
You could fill Venezuela just with a normal card, maybe with Icon or something. Fill Venezuela and the extra one.
So one option would be, if we use Nuclear Test Ban, we could tap Mexico as well.
Yeah, I like that.
And that way both of those cease being dominated.
He's got 2 realign targets.
Yeah, that's right, because this is +1 as it stands. You're right.
And
that's +1 as well.
Mexico, what if we tapped Chile?
We could tap Chile with, and then that gives us something there. If we can then get into Peru without using OAS.
Indeed.
Exactly.
That's good. I like that.
You like that?
I think here comes Central America scoring,
Well,
but I'm not sure there's anything we can do about it.
We can coup Colombia and get back on an even keel in South America. And or try and take Chile.
No, that's good, because that at least, if it worries him about South America scoring if he's not holding it. That's good. Let's go.
Go with it. It's done. How do Jimmy and Shazan watch the board? Also via Playdeck or Street. So we are Discording.
I'm doing this all with my eyes closed.
Yeah, that's right. Jimmy is playing blindfolded like Magnus Carlsen at chess.
Oh.
Oh, it's nice we're not getting quogged.
I think that means he's a bit worried.
Yeah, he saw the realign.
So I think we can pressure. Maybe we attempt to realign. What?
I don't know. I think cooing Colombia is safest to make sure that this ends up 2-2.
Let's coup Colombia with what?
Comic-Con or OPEC? OPEC's currently worth 2 VP, and I'm prepared to although, actually, that's the only card we'd space.
Yeah, I'd quite like to take a space shot with OPEC.
Okay. Yep, I
agree.
Comic-Con.
I think we use Comic-Con, but actually OPEC we could use Libya or.
I think that just taps. I agree. It's a 5 VP swing or a 4 VP swing if we make space and don't event OPEC. And it's the only thing we've got for space at the moment. And we kind of want to make 2 spaces so we can discard a held card.
I think we're definitely using Comic-Con, so I think for the sake of the time, I think we should hit that.
Are we agreed on coup Colombia? Yeah?
Yeah.
Mics keep cutting out there, so I hear rather than yes.
We'll change our minds to no afterwards.
A 1 is fine. A 6 is better.
Oh, that's nice.
There you go. My non-battleground cooing is absolutely sharp. But I will point out that that's now the end of AR2 and we still haven't invented colonial rearguards. And Shez said it would take something spectacular for us not to do it AR1.
I've been drinking.
That is a spectacle. All right.
I also think if he was using Quagmire for the ops, I think he might be ops. I think he might be a bit ops poor.
Yeah, he's definitely managed to wrong foot us on scoring timing with Asia and Africa.
I reckon he might be holding Southeast Asia, maybe, or something.
So do we event colonial rearguards and play in Vietnam and Indonesia as well as Thailand, and maybe one in Nigeria, even though it's a bit late?
Yeah,
I think
the tempo back.
We still hit. So colonials, we do Algeria, Nigeria, Thailand, and Philippines, maybe.
Philippines rather than Indonesia.
Force advocate, does that tell him that we haven't got South America, and actually we could get him to play an unfavourable card by pressing South America?
So do we jam Chile with shuttle diplomacy?
Oh no, we could do OAS, couldn't we?
Yeah.
So two into Chile with OAS
into. Oh yeah, I'll take OAS to flip, or we could. Is it Haiti with a coup?
Couing Haiti denies domination and threatens Cuba realignment. But we don't have a lot of cards.
OAS for a non-battleground is quite a waste. Yeah. I reckon we bide our time with America for the moment. I reckon we hit colonials, the pressure on Southeast Asia.
Go with that then.
So are we going Thailand, Indonesia, Nigeria, Algeria?
Even
though Africa's dropped? Or do we also go Vietnam?
No, let's push in Algeria, push in Africa.
Jimmy?
Okay.
What were you going to say?
I'll top up Philippines because I feel like there's a VP coming.
Well, so, and then what? Algeria, Nigeria, or also Indonesia?
Mind.
Algeria, Nigeria, because we're forcing him to repair. Is the point?
That's true.
Okay.
All right.
If we get rid of his ops when we play OAS, he'll be in tears.
He'll be so pleased to have seen colonial rearguards come after Africa scoring, though. But that's life. So are we going potentially 5 OPEC space, 6 OAS, 7 bear trap, hold shuttle and arsenal? Yeah, so he's not stupid.
It's all right.
Do we flip Algeria with shuttle?
I think we take Algeria with shuttle, yeah.
Jimmy? That means you don't get to event it.
Can do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he might be out of ops. I wonder whether it's worth using OAS to poke something. He's going to space.
I think if we do it, we should double tap Chile, because that's the equivalent of a 3-op card using OAS that way.
I'm just not sure there's any point in giving up our hard-fought Algeria.
Well, I mean, he has to choose between Algeria and Africa's already scored, or Chile. By putting 2 in, he has to use a 2-op card. So he needs a 3-op card to do both. And like Jimmy says, he's indicating he's weak.
8 VPs down, and I'm slightly worried about war games coming in a few turns.
And then why do Chile? Why not do Mexico?
Because I guess you're right.
We dom South America like this, don't we?
Yeah.
2 in Mexico.
I don't think he's got Central America.
No, because he would have dropped it before Africa, I think.
Okay, fine. Let's hit Chile.
Yeah, so we're on a just over 2-hour clock because we're not quite halfway through the game and we've used an hour of our clock. So this is good. This is good for when we get in the cup game. We need to talk quicker than we're currently talking.
Need to roll the dice better, and then we'd win in turn 4.
So we got our 2 VP through Nixon, which means we didn't get to use the China card.
Do some. Should we take Algeria now, or should we space? I don't think there's any point in looking gift horsing them out.
I like shuttle to take Algeria, space OPEC, event bear trap 5, 6, 7. Jimmy.
Yep, let's do that.
All right. Okay, it's done. I see your point, Jimmy, which is, although Formosa's still in play, actually. I'd forgotten. If Formosa was out of play, I would have said shuttles are only way to get domination in Asia. Oh, God. Where's he going? Panama?
Right.
Oh, Venezuela, which he misses. That's fine. We dodge a bullet there. Space
So
OPEC.
pack.
Yay! NASA are
Oh.
on form tonight.
Wow.
We're getting
That
the
definitely
ISS.
flatters our scoreline.
Yeah.
So event bear trap AR7.
Yes,
And that way we're hoping to get the coup. I think he's ahead of us in battleground, so that won't trigger.
Trap it is.
Yeah, the event. And we know we're not going to get quagmired in response, so unless he finds a way of dropping DEFCON, we get the coup.
Oh,
And he's lost We Will Bury You, hasn't he? He's used We Will Bury You for ops.
that is a very nice hand.
Yeah,
do we use our not to dump lone gunman?
Well, we can dump a load, can't we?
And South America scoring now. So he's headlining ABM. Do you want me to
he's
tell you?
headlining ABM. I'd dump South America.
Surely you want to. You're going to dump it all, aren't you? I mean, surely we're going to miss our see where he coups.
So,
if he doesn't coup South America, we can maybe coup and miss our Envy and then score South America.
I think he's going to go for Venezuela here. Or Panama, because, of course, Central America hasn't scored.
Yeah.
So, I think just try and keep it tight for now. He's going to take the coup. I wouldn't want to be left looking daft with South America in hand.
It's true. It'd be a bad time to give up points.
Has Duck and Cover gone?
Duck and Cover has gone. Missile MV could pull US Japan, which earns us nothing, or Flower Power. Those are the 2 4-op cards left in the deck right now.
I mean,
US Japan does nothing for us, does it?
It does absolutely nothing. It triggers and we don't even get to use it.
Also, yeah.
I think Missile MV is not good here. I think Arsenal's fine, and we just ditch a ton of cards, including Missile MV, frankly, because it's a neutral 2-op card. I think we hold John Paul.
Don't reckon hold Missile Envy the next turn.
Well, it's the reshuffle, so then we can't comfortably event it.
Well, I think we could hold it, and if he plays US Japan, we can play it.
We can event Missile Envy then, getting hopefully Flower Power, Brezhnev, maybe Alliance.
We're headline peaking, so there's a fair chance that we can actually headline it.
That's right, knowing it's DEFCON safe. You're right, Missile Envy is not ditchable. So we ditch Arsenal and throw away South America Lone Gunman Che Truman, because there's no valid Truman target, and South African Unrest. Are we eventing John Paul to make it 4-1?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Bit of pressure on that.
Arsenal?
Yep.
Okay, we'll let him have his coup first.
Yep, dumping South America, Lone Gunman, Che, Truman, South African.
And keeping Arms, John Paul, and Missile Envy.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. It's a good thing we're ditching South America scoring.
He's going to love this.
And we're happy keeping John Paul to put pressure on in Europe for potential control. Although it'll take solidarity and teardown to get there. Yeah? Done. Oh, we got bloody Central America. There's time for us to coup and threaten rear lines there, I suppose.
Brezhnevs are... They are.
Yep. Central Southeast Asia, Alliance Camp David. I guess we want to event Camp David.
Who's failed his bear trap roll?
Hello.
We can switch. Okay. Let's just pump into Mexico.
Yep.
Old-fashioned way.
Just with 2 ops.
Arms race. Pop 2 into Mexico.
No, because we can use... Oh, no, sorry, he's going to be ahead on... Yeah. He's already had his coup, hasn't he?
So 1 in Mexico, or 2 in Mexico and flip it?
Ah.
Okay. Yes, Jimmy, happy? Yeah?
And then what we're going to do, keep Alliance for progress in there, or use John Paul?
Alliance will get us 3 VP, which is on the threshold of me being happy to play it.
Let's just do this for now.
If we got Mexico first.
Yeah, use John Paul, I guess. You're right. Okay, anyway, so we're tapping Mexico to start, because we know he's stuck in the trap. Arms race is gone, and he used Voice of America. Let's see if he misses again.
He's thinking.
A mint, right. So do we take Mexico now?
Okay. I think so.
Do we press for domination in Central America? In which case, are we using Missile MV and alliance and camp to potentially set up some coups.
We've seen Brush War, we've seen Liberation Theology, so he can't really do much in Central America, can he?
No, worst case scenario is he uses How I Learned to raise DEFCON to coup, or US-Japan for free ops.
Okay, I think up Mexico, maybe as cheaply as possible.
Or Cambridge 5. If he uses Cambridge 5, he can place an op. Because that's
let's use either Missile Envy or John Paul to take Mexico. Probably John Paul.
Yeah, it does mean Solidarity is not going to be much use, but
it's okay.
We're set relatively fair in Europe, I suppose, until the Reformer comes along. Yeah?
That's something that we need to think about, is getting another op in Europe at some point.
To get domination before turn 7, yeah. Agreed. Yeah. Okay, so Central America is now 0, but we'd quite like it to be more. Although I expect to coup Nicaragua. If only
we probably done Southeast Asia next, don't we? Or
hold on, have I missed something? I've got
oh crap, DEFCON was still 3 because of ABM.
Yeah. All three of us missed that.
Yeah,
that wasn't clever.
That's impressive. Wow.
Right.
It's because of the whole bear trap tapping thing. We should have cooed
lesson
Mexico.
learned,
oh well.
Isn't it?
Dadoy.
Yeah, that's bad play, guys.
It happens. We all missed it. We can blame each other. Shall we coup Haiti?
I think so.
With Camp David or Missile Envy?
He's dumped Southeast Asia.
He's not going to make it any worse right now. Well, 2 into Burma, I guess.
He has decol.
Oh, he has got decol.
Does he?
Oh, no, so he could have decol.
Yeah.
I've got 13 uncounted cards, of which 7 are in the draw pile, 5 are in his hand, so I've missed one. Cultural Revolution, yeah.
If we coup Central America now, it's obvious what we've got.
That's right, we're telegraphing. So ditch Southeast Asia?
Southeast Asia, yeah.
Okay. So he has got 5 of US, Japan, NORAD, nuclear subs, Indo-Pakistani war, which is terrible for us. Latin American death squads, One Small Step, How I Learned, SALT, Flower Power, Socialist governments, Cambridge 5, and decol. Well, at least he's not invented Cambridge 5. Now, what do we think? Are we going to press for Central America domination?
I think it's too easy for him to deny it.
So do we just drop Central America for 0 rather than +2?
I don't know. I think hitting Haiti, if something goes wrong for him, or if you've got something else that he needs to deal with, then offers us the chance to realign, whether it's now or later.
Well, if we realign and go for control. So do we use Missile Envy or Camp David for that? Bearing in mind, if we don't event Camp David, we're unlikely to get Egypt, and control's a possibility here.
Quite like having to.
Sorry, Shez?
Yeah, let's use Missile Envy in that case.
Yeah. I think we need to. The VPs are quite tight, so I think Camp David for the event.
Do we event that first before Haiti? Because he doesn't see Haiti coming. If we coup Haiti and he takes Egypt, yes, we've got the realign on Cuba. What are we doing first? Camp David or Missile Envy?
Camp David.
Jimmy?
Camp David.
All right. And you know, turn 7 or Muslim Revolution us out of everywhere. Although at least we're now in Israel, and Arab-Israeli war can't be called up. So we're ideally hoping he's not holding US-Japan or Indo-Pakistani war, and we get dealt both of those in turn 7, because one of them's a free card for him.
We do need our mill-ops as well.
Yeah. Well, we'll coup Haiti in a second, right?
Yeah.
Now?
Exactly. I think so, yeah.
With got
to do it, then make him worry. Then
he'll coup Nicaragua, I guess.
I think we've got to go Central American
next turn, yeah.
Next.
So he'll coup
and
Nicaragua
then Brezhnev last.
Yeah, agreed. Hold alliance. Yeah, well, at least he didn't get to One Small Step. He's not going to miss, though. Central America? He's gone One Small Step. And lads, what's his last? There's 9 cards left unaccounted. Oh no. Miss. Miss.
Taiwan.
He missed. Huzzah.
So Europe, and one into Europe and possibly 2 into Taiwan. Does that give us domination in Asia as well?
It does. Although I'll do it with Brezhnev rather than alliance. Sorry. Do we take Greece to shore up Italy against brush war rather than the UK because NATO's not in play for special relationship?
I think so.
Yeah? Comsa?
Okay. Yeah.
Done. Turn 7. So we want to get US Japan. We don't.
Grain sales.
He's going to get a free 4 ops with US Japan. So let's say he's got NORAD and nuclear subs. How I Learned to Stop Worrying. And Salt. Yeah, we got Decol though, which is nice, although we can't space it unless we space 2 this turn and discard it. Oh no, 1. If we space Quagmire and we succeed, we can then drop Decol to the discard held card.
There's a fair chance, isn't there, of us being able, if Decol's our hold card, getting us something to space this turn or next.
Yeah, I think we want to space Quagmire. So he's got US Japan, NORAD, nuclear subs, How I Learned, and Salt.
I think grain sales.
Yeah, we get to see what he does first.
Just going on mute for a couple of minutes, so I'm
no trouble.
Grain sales.
I agree.
And then possibly try and flip Africa domination, maybe. Although he's got South American could have a nasty South American control, maybe.
Not control, at least. I like the coup on Africa, having missed Angola the first time round. And we're hoping to pull US Japan with grain sales because we don't want him to get 4 free ops.
Where in Africa? Zaire, so threaten a realignment.
Yes.
He's got South African unrest, has he?
He's not holding either. We've seen both go.
Have we?
Yeah. So he's not guaranteed to hold it. He may have got it in the reshuffle. The only ones we know he's got is US Japan, NORAD, nuclear subs, How I Learned, and Salt. If he events NORAD, at some point we want to be putting a couple in Canada, knowing Quagmire's not coming back.
Having a good old think.
Well, you know, he's got 40 odd minutes on us, which seems fair.
Syria could be brutal.
Yeah, but we're already ahead in Asia, I guess. So I agree, it's worth doing at some point, I guess, but it's a question of tempo, isn't it? And know it.
Or it gives us a chance to use the China card.
It does, and then give up on Formosa. You're right. What we want to do is fade Indo-Pakistani war a 3rd time. That's ideal. Because obviously if we give up the China card, we need to put at least 1 in Pakistan anyway.
Turns out I can't say Yasuri without my phone butting in. Siri.
Oh, Apple Man.
Shut up.
So what are we likely to see here? I mean, he might headline How I Learned, but we can use grain sales beforehand, so he won't use How I Learned. Salt, he won't because there's a reshuffle. He's going to use a card we don't know about, basically.
Oh, or he's trying to math something out. I think he's trying to math it. He's trying to work out what's happening.
Okay, so we use grain sales to drop Defcon to 2, and he uses How I Learned to re-raise it, yeah? We still want to use grain sales and take a coup, don't we? We gain nothing from... He's probably going to try and raise Defcon to 4 to realign
I think
Pakistan.
It's almost... Maybe he's got something nasty that he's holding and he's using I Learned to...
What would that be? Because CIA's gone.
Could be duck and cover, could be 5-year.
He can space all those, though. So, you know, I think he's comfortable. I think he's going to raise Defcon to 4 and try and realign us out of Pakistan.
Okay.
That strikes me as his likeliest gambit. Or raise Defcon just enough to get another coup in, but I still think we want to shorten his hand.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's put enough pressure on him.
Always that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Grain sales. John Paul came back to us. He's insisting we event him. Shuttle diplomacy came back as well, which may still come in handy if some horrors happen in Asia. All right, but grain sales, and we want to pull US Japan to deny him a free 4-op card. Oh, NATO. Which we still want to coup with rather than event, right?
Yeah, but it might be worth hitting South America maybe with. Do you reckon? Brazil, perhaps?
Brazil's the juiciest of the lot. It does mean we're resigning ourselves in Africa, but Africa's so much easier to flip. Let's just see what the odds are in Brazil. 1 in 3 to gain control.
Or even Libya. Is that then even thing up?
No, it does for AR1. 50-50 chance of control there. Although it's a 66. Well, it's a 5 out of 6 chance of cleaning them out.
Iran to make
access to Pakistan more viable if he does go to DEFCON 4. Iran.
And
I like that.
Open up the Iraq-Iran war for us a bit.
Yep. I like that. Should we do that while Shez isn't here?
Yeah, go on.
Come on, roll big. Yes.
Ooh.
Juicy.
Whopper.
That's the way I like it.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, you're back. We decided we stole NATO with grain sales to Here's How I Learned.
It's how I learned.
And we flipped Iran, which means if he raises DEFCON 4, he now doesn't have a cheap realigned target on Pakistan. He'd have to coup it instead.
He thought he would realign.
We were thinking he was going to, if we could in Africa or Brazil, he'd raise DEFCON 4 and realign us out of Pakistan at +2. +2. Whereas now, he can't realign it. It's +0 to realign in Pakistan now, so he'd have to coup instead. I suspect what he'll do now is raise DEFCON 3 and just take a coup.
Have we seen, has he got Muslim Revolution target now?
He does have Muslim Revolution targets, this is true. The only cards we know he's holding are US-Japan, which is 4 free ops for him, NORAD, nuclear subs, and SALT. There's, of course, not anything massive to SALT just yet.
I suppose he now thinks we've got Middle East.
Yes, he might think that. In which case he may coup Egypt, potentially.
Unless he's got Middle East.
Well, yeah, exactly. We can only surmise. We know 4 of his 7 cards at least. So, I guess a key question here is: are we playing Flower Power and accepting the war damage in late war, or is the scoreline sufficiently bad we need space, Quagmire, and Flower Power?
I think I'd quite like to space Quagmire early.
Agreed.
And then see what our options.
Because we may get the 4-2 space. We could even hold Flower Power and go Quagmire and Socialist Governments to space, discarding Decol as our held card. Oh no, then we'd have to do something with Flower Power.
Yeah, well, playing Flower Power is not the worst thing in the world in terms of end of turn.
I guess the problem is that even 1 or 2 war cards in our hand that we have to play because we are too high on the space track might push it over to the war games limit.
No, we're not too high. You can discard held cards.
If we space successfully one of these 2, we can discard a held card, yeah.
Of course we'll do that, Crow.
Okay, so he's gone DEFCON 2. Alright, so we want Asia scoring. We don't want Lone Gunman. Do we want to rid Missile Envy to avoid variance and keep the rest?
Let's get rid of kitchen debates as well. It's useless.
Because we're currently behind, right? And we're unlikely to get ahead.
Exactly. And
keep Asia and puppet governments. Jimmy, are you pro or anti Missile Envy staying in the deck? I feel it's as much a risk to us as him. With Cal, Duck and Cover, etc. Is Jimmy still there? Jimmy?
Sorry, I muted myself by mistake.
That's fine. It's better than you disappearing. Yeah, I like dumping it, but I wanted to make sure you were around. Good. We keep Asia scoring.
Governments is good for filling up bits of Africa, isn't it?
Absolutely. All the 1-stab countries are still there. So keep Asia, keep Puppet. Agreed?
Bits is also good for getting back into Middle East once he's Muslimed us.
Potentially Muslimed, yes. Done. Done. What is he going to do with his swaps? I think he's going to go Middle East to redominate and 1 into Israel to stop us reclaiming it, potentially. Let's see. I like speculating, but I don't actually have a bloody clue. That's exactly what he did. What a genius I am. Shall we take Syria to level up the country count?
Or
was that Jimmy?
Yeah, or what about shuttle diplomacy? Ben, maybe. Nice in there.
Yes, he then needs to use 3 ops to take Israel, and then again 2 ops to take
Wait
Syria.
a
Levels
minute.
it up.
I don't think he's got Middle East. I think he's reacting to our Iran coup.
So what do we do? Do we coup Africa to deny domination? Do we? We can't.
I think
really...
we could coup Nicaragua to threaten domination.
I guess the problem is we're not holding any scoring cards, and we've led him to believe we've got Middle East scoring. If he's holding Africa or South America, we look stupid, and we know he's not holding Asia scoring this turn because we've just seen it. So I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we're getting ourselves in trouble, leaving too many dominations open.
Yes. So if we coup Africa to deny domination, it's very easy for him to just take 2-1 stabs.
That's true. So Africa's a lost cause. South America is problematic. We could tap Chile.
The thing is, how many ops does he have? Because if he's playing OMIF turn 1...
He's still got US-Japan.
Right.
NORAD nuclear subs and salt. So US-Japan's 4 free ops, which he can use at any point. So
I think they're two goes for me now. I would either space Quagmire or play Alliance for the event.
I think Space Quagmire because we definitely want to do that. Whereas it's conceivable that we might be forced to play Alliance.
Yeah. So Space Quagmire.
Read.
He'll be holding Middle East scoring. Well, we missed, so we do want to try and space again to a discard a held card. When we do try and space, do we space Socialist or Flower Power?
Socialist.
Even though eventing Flower Power might give him 2 to 4 VP in late war. Brush War, Iran, Iraq. Oh, Korean's gone.
Yeah, but it might not.
So what's he going to do with his 4 free ops? Okay, so we now want to take...
Europe. To fill up Europe.
Yeah. So 3 ops. Are we using Shuttle Dip or Yasuri? Or Alliance or Flower Power?
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2,
we need to take UK and Canada.
Yeah.
Shuttle, Yasuri. Shuttle, which does potentially level up Middle East if we event it. Yasuri does a whole lot of damage in Asia, but we're already ahead in Asia.
Yeah, but with Shuttle, if you play Asia first, it doesn't help us.
China and then Yasuri it back.
That then stops us dominating. We're 4-3
at the
moment
course,
because
sorry.
of almost. That's all right. It's been a long time. It's been an hour and a bit. Shuttle.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 in UK, 2 in Canada. And he'll play 2 into Yugoslavia, Uruguay, Czechoslovakia. And I guess we just start potentially ops racing. But let's see. He's got NORAD, which now if he uses, of course, Canada does at least trigger a few times. He's got Salt, but he's got nothing to Salt. Oh, no.
He's got Quagmire. Should we have... Is that a mistake on our part?
If he salts Quagmire, though, we can get a coup in on somewhere before he Quagmires us. And we've got Decol to ditch to Quagmire, so again, it's not horrific, and he's not doing it anyway.
There we go, that's right.
He'll put 2 in to level up, yep, okay. So, what do we think? We can either use 3 ops to keep racing in Europe, and we're always 1 step behind. Or we can do something else, but...
It's John Paul.
No, it doesn't. It goes 4-1.
No, it's... Yep. Yeah.
I think we have to go Benelux or Denmark here if we're going to race in Europe. And then he just uses 1 op to take Czechoslovakia. 3 ops takes 2 and we're out of range. He's holding NORAD nuclear subs and 2 others.
Do we try and flip somewhere else while he's busy in Europe?
The problem is we can't. We can't flip Africa because they're all overprotected. We can't do more than tap Chile. All we could do is flip Lebanon to deny domination and then he plays into Syria.
We're going to lose a straight run anyway, Europe.
We are going to lose a foot race in Europe, I think. I agree.
So we could go space with Socialist.
Yeah.
Or is this the time to use John Paul to coup Nicaragua?
That is an option. It does mean that we're never going to... It's the thing about eventing John Paul, I guess, is solidarity may come along in late war, and then that undoes a bit of work.
So if we got 3 into, he put
He puts one into
goes,
Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, and we
or
can't really.
One into Czechoslovakia, 2 into Hungary. So the foot race in Europe, I think, is lost. So the question is, do we then want to use John Paul to force the leverage if we get solidarity?
Good space socialist, and then
look,
we've got
socialist
flexibility later.
You can space socialist any time. If he's racing in Europe and he knows Europe scoring, if we coup, okay, so if we coup Nicaragua, he gets into a coup war with us, we know he's got to play Europe, so we can get realigned on Cuba.
Yep, and we want a space to make sure that we can ditch Ortega to held card if it comes to that.
Yep.
So coup Nicaragua, John Paul?
Okay.
Alright, I agree we need space socialist governments later on, though. I'm sold on that. John Paul does us relatively proud. So now if he does drop Europe scoring, we could use Yasuri to get some serious hits on Cuba.
But if he gets a successful space, then we lose our second. We're still on 2 space races, aren't we?
Oh no, he needs to use one small step.
That's already gone.
No, it's reshuffle, so it could come back.
Yeah, but
It's improbable. He's got two unknown cards. If one of them happened to be one small step and he chose to event it now, it would be a very slyly played turn. And we'd still get to realign Cuba, so it wouldn't be the end of the world. He did have Europe scoring, which we were going to lose in the foot race anyway. Shall we take our chance to realign Cuba?
Let's do it.
With Yasuri?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Who are our secondary targets?
Yes, that's always a good question to ask, is it not? There isn't one.
Yeah. Okay. We go for it with Yasuri then.
So +2, and it goes first.
Wow. Okay.
We have a crack at yeah.
Zaire at -2. Angola at -1.
Or what about
Venezuela at
denying him?
-1.
We could wind up him by I can't remember what that is next to Mexico. Is that Guatemala?
Yeah, so that's at 0. 42%.
But that would be no presence.
That's right.
Yeah.
Should we just go there? 2 hits on it. Right, one more chance for glory. Glory. Okay, so now are we playing Flower Power into Cuba Event Alliance for 4VP?
I think
or he's spacing social. Oh, he'll coup Nicaragua next. He must do. So I think we have to force Cuba.
Yep.
But we want to space socialist governments to discard decol and prepare to ditch Ortega.
We have our plan, don't we? If he doesn't coup Nicaragua, we space socialist first.
Yep. If he does, we take Cuba first.
Where are we putting the extra op?
A good question.
Probably overprotect France.
Yeah, because the reformer may still come. Although if we event Alliance for Progress, we'll get ahead. And now we've got
NORAD. That's nice.
Okay, so he didn't go anywhere near Cuba.
He's broken Pakistan, so that's what we repair.
That's what we repair. Easy peasy.
With that, Shez?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Okay, let's hope we don't get too many war cards, although getting Brush War is better than giving it away. He's going to likely give us a coup AR7 with nuclear subs, so I guess the question is, do we use Alliance for Progress for 4VP or to coup Angola or Nigeria to deny Africa domination? What's better?
Take 4V.
We'll take 4VP even though it's 4VP, so it's a 5VP swing to coup Africa with Alliance.
Yeah, but Africa might swing back.
It may swing back. Okay. Space socialist governments?
Space socialist. Space socialist.
And then he's going to event nuclear subs last turn. Oh, dang it. Sorry, guys. That was actually the space we really wanted to go off as well.
Messed it up,
I know, right? Well, do you want me to event decol instead?
So where are we hitting? There?
That's interesting now, isn't it? Because we don't want to give up Asia, do we? That is a really cheeky play, isn't it?
It is, and the only way we can do it is by opping alliance, because
Well, you could opt China, and that would be bad too, won't it?
it
So I
won't,
think
because we just go to 3-3.
you've got to opt alliance because that's a 10-point swing once he takes it next go.
We can even up Africa as well. One into Pakistan, one in Maroon, one into whatever's just below Egypt.
Comsa? Yeah, so we didn't get to use alliance for progress, unfortunately. Are we happy with that? It saves Asia though, and levels up Africa, and we're still headline peaking. But
That's
we
good.
need to watch out for Ortega. Ortega is very bad for us. We didn't get dealt it though. We got dealt Middle East scoring. We got terrorism, but we can't. We got brush war and Iran-Iraq war. So after eventing flower power, we get 2 of the war cards. But we got Eastern European unrest.
Cultural Revolution as well. So we're doing with that. That's a space card, maybe?
Yeah. Or Che. Or both, if he doesn't get to space.
I think our headline. Oh God, our headline's got to be terrorism, right?
Just to shorten his hand. It's not going to be causing DEFCON trouble because, oh no, Star Wars, Tear Down This Wall, and Soviets could all be in his hand. So it could make a difference. Although he with Junta, he may go for South America control rather than Central America.
We may be hitting Venezuela for a 50-50 brush war.
Yeah. Do we do that in the headline or do we do that on the turn?
The turn. You want a headline?
We can event terrorism anytime we like, I guess, if he's stuck with lots of DEFCON cards. Although, yeah. Choices.
It doesn't make any difference. Brush it.
We may also want to brush for Libya, knowing we're holding Middle East scoring. I'm not saying we have to, but we also need to think about that. Although we have Iran-Iraq war, which is 1 in 3 to flip Iraq. But if we're going to use both war cards this turn under flower power, that's not ideal.
Let's play terrorism and keep our options for brush depending on what he does on you.
Yeah.
So I suppose the other thing is that we can always play brush war into Africa.
Let's see what he does first, with his L1 as well.
We may pull the scoring card he's about to try and cash. Shall we?
South America scoring, here it comes.
Central.
Oh, the Reformer. Well,
that's good.
Lovely. Well done, Crow.
I think if he goes Argentina, he's got South America scoring and wants control. If he goes Central America, then we know that he's afraid of... Although, of course, he may put 2 in Mexico or Panama and then coup Argentina. Get the best of both worlds. No, he follows
So
up with
he's
coup.
frightened of...
We still got Dom.
Yeah.
So we need to stay ahead of war games, potentially. We need to think that's in play.
I think he's going to be trying to...
So what do we do here? Coup Saharan states. Brush war's 50-50 on Angola. So we have a 50-50 chance of missing and being dominated. Versus a... we need to use a 3-op card to guarantee not being dominated, rather than a 2-op card.
It's too costly. Let's take the risk.
Gamble on brush war?
Sure, into where?
Angola?
Yeah, no, because I think look, there's something to think about here, because we might need brush war on Thailand in order to play China, not lose Dom.
Yep, true. Although we may also want to do Libya at 66% to dominate in the Middle East, given that we hold it.
Could we hit?
We're holding cultural. We're holding Che. I really don't like playing Che.
Yeah, so 50-50 on Thailand's reasonable for sure. I don't disagree.
If we flipped Iran-Iraq, that would give us an instant domination.
But it's 1 in 3, and we give up 2 VPs doing it because of flower power. So it's expensive if we miss, and then he drops Africa domination, and then it's in the game's target. I agree. At this point, our hand's forced in one place. So where do we want our hand to be forced?
We have to play Iran-Iraq.
Yep. Jimmy?
Yep.
Okay. Someone else can roll the dice. So you need a 5 or a 6. Everyone happy?
Easy.
Nope. Sorry. So now if he drops Africa scoring, he's in war games total, and we can't actually do anything to stop that. If he doesn't drop a scoring
Base
card...
takes us...
Oh, hello. That makes it even worse for us. That suggests he's not holding Africa scoring.
Do we then go after Libya, maybe, or
It's just then 3 ops for him to take Israel and dominate. So it's not very expensive if we do that.
Let's hit Thailand.
If we hit
Venezuela
Thailand
with
and
brush
miss,
war?
I think we hit Thailand and we figure out if we can use China or not.
if we hit Thailand and miss, he goes to being able to play war games, as long as we're aware of that. That's the big risk.
I don't see what other options we have.
We've already got domination in Asia, though. That's the only thing.
So Shez's argument is it allows us to use the China card for ops and Cultural Revolution. So
yeah,
it frees up more ops if he's not holding war games than using Brush War
Kind of
somewhere
feel
else.
we need to take a risk here.
Brush War on Venezuela, again, if we miss, he's war gamesable.
Or
And it's a 5 VP swing.
We can just dump Middle East now, or we can space Shay now.
don't like dumping Middle East straight away because it might be something like wax.
Yeah, AWACS would let us back in. So I also think, yeah, Che has to be spaced, I guess.
Let's do it.
Space.
Space Che before he...
Might as well.
And we may get a
Do where we
second chance
can.
if we fail and he doesn't respond. And we... Oh, good. We can discard a held card. And we stay below the war games threshold for the moment.
So we definitely get to discard decal,
Yes.
and we have to play.
We want to space Cultural Revolution if we can before he does.
Yeah.
Oh, miss. He's spacing his own cards. He missed. Shall we space Cultural Revolution? Try and get the
Go for
4
it.
spot?
Yeah.
And it means we can hold the China card.
Do it, yeah.
Come on, big roll on space. Oh, god damn it,
Oh.
sorry. I was doing so well in space, that was the one place I seemed to be doing okay.
Is it worth if war games comes along, we're in trouble. But is it worth Eastern European some pressure on in Europe?
Yeah, we could remove from non-battlegrounds, although he's just tapped
We've
Pakistan.
got something to.
Use Cambridge 5 to repair.
Yeah.
Can't. We're
Oh,
behind.
we're 3 behind, aren't we? Eastern European unrest.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least that's a 4 for 3 ops.
Is that he's holding Asia play?
It's indicative because he first used Iran hostage crisis as well. If he's got into Pakistan war, we're in a lot of trouble. So he's going to jam it here.
Europe.
Which means we now need to use Brush War for ops to take Pakistan.
That's not the worst, is it? Or, I mean, the other option is to use China, but nah, don't know.
Well, use China and we lose domination anyway. So what are we going? Are we putting 2 in the 3 op areas?
How many ARs has he got left? He's got 2.
He's got 2 ARs.
So
Overprotect
Overprotect France and West Germany.
Germany.
And then go what? Benelux,
We say
Denmark, Finland.
Overprotect UK as well.
Yep, for special relationship.
although special
And
Austria.
NATO's not in play, is it?
And Canada.
NATO's not in play. So overtake the battlegrounds.
Canada, because NORAD's in play.
Yep. Although socialist governments is gone as well. And the reformer. So he can't actually remove influence
It's more
from
important
Canada.
to be racing.
Yep. So get in all the places that he could play into. And then the 3 for Denmark. And then we've got 2 more. 1 more op. UK or Canada. It's much for muchness, I think. He can tap UK adjacent. He can't tap Canada losing socialist governments. So go UK.
Yeah,
So are we using Brush War for 3 ops to take Pakistan, which puts us below the war games threshold? Or
What
do we use the
happens?
I think we use
What
Brush.
happens if you
Brush is minus 2 VPs anyway, isn't it?
Jimmy?
what happens if you fill up Pakistan and prod
India.
India with the
get-
China
We
card?
get the same result briefly.
We leave. Okay.
What that does mean, though, is that if he Aldriches us with Ortega next turn, we're dead. Because we don't have the China card outlet.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a turn 9 risk. But if we play Brush War for ops in Pakistan and he's got war games, we lose this turn anyway.
Don't It doesn't feel like he's got war games this turn, does it?
No, because he's not raced for VP, I don't think.
No.
So do we use Brush War for Ops to take Pakistan and hold the China card a little longer?
Yeah.
Oh, the other option is if we use the China. And yeah, no, I think you're right. We use Brush.
Hold on. Cambridge 5 to break India.
Yes.
Cambridge 5 to break India. Yep. And then we could use Brush War on Thailand, I suppose.
Doesn't he just repair?
Yeah, 2 Ops to take both. And then we have to use Brush War AR6 on Thailand. Hope to flip
I don't
it.
think that's good, actually.
Okay, and remember, we've got to drop Middle East scoring, and we're running out of ARs to do it. Right, let's do that one last time. So are we using Brush War for Ops? Are we resigned? Yep. And let's hope he's not holding war games. If he is, we've used our 90-minute clock to the second, so maybe it would be an accursed blessing. So there you go. He's taken a third the time we have, and there's 1 of him and 3 of us. So at least we're talking as much as he is.
Yeah. And he's got 7 more VPs.
Yeah, there's that too. Oh, well, that's a blessing in disguise, I suppose. So Cambridge 5, and then we hope he drops Asia scoring R7 and we drop Middle East scoring, yeah?
Yeah.
But we're end played in having to do Middle East scoring R7, yeah?
Fingers crossed.
Come on, Asia scoring.
Come on, Muslim Revolution.
Oh yeah, God, not Muslim Revolution. That would be an absolute disaster, wouldn't it?
He's thinking he doesn't have Asia.
Crap. Maybe he's got Voice of America.
He's got Soviet shoot now in Cal.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Although he wouldn't have spaced whatever he spaced. He spaced Marine Barracks bombing. So I don't think he DEFCON suicide himself deliberately, unless he was paying about as much attention as when we missed that DEFCON was 3. Oh, 1 op. So he can't stop Asia at least, but we eat Middle East scoring. Yeah. And discard
There's
decoll.
no choice.
No.
That's something. Okay.
What have we got?
Here comes Asia. That gives us.
But we can headline it if we have to.
Yeah, but we can also see his.
Oh crap! So now we can't headline. Well, do we have to headline Asia scoring here? What do you think?
Could do tear down this wall.
We take the coup away. Either we take maybe we use duck.
If we do that and he's got war games, remember he wins.
Duck gives us 3 VIPs.
Yeah.
Okay, but
that's 9 or 11 if it lands.
I mean, he wins anyway, doesn't he?
Most of the time, yeah.
Because he has to. Well, I think we have to play hoping that he doesn't have war games.
Indeed. So what's
we've got
optimal? Tear down this wall?
Tear down doesn't do much, does it?
It doesn't, because we've not got a great coup target. Bar East Germany itself, and we've not set up lots of rear lines.
Basically, if he's got it, if he misses a P war, then we'd be losing out on Asia. Sorry, if he hits it.
Yes, if he hits it, it goes for 0 instead of +5.
If he hits it, we can't get Asia back anyway, can we?
No, and then he can start tapping South Korea to get his own domination.
Okay. I think duck and cover because...
Deny a coup.
Yeah.
Deny a coup, get some VIPs, let's do it.
Right,
crossed that
he doesn't have war
games.
And he misses Indo-Pakistani war.
Yeah. How many things?
Miss. Reagan bombs Libya, an evil empire. That came along 1 turn too late, because we used all the bloody war cards. And then we see an evil empire. Oh, curses.
Shocker. The TVPs. Then it might
and
be
he's got war games.
Anyway.
Good game.
To be fair, I'm pretty glad he won. We've overspent our clock, haven't we?
I thought we had some pretty good hands actually.
Look, below 1500. We had some great. We were ops rich a lot of the time, so it is somewhat despondent that we were where we were.
Are you posting that on
Very
YouTube?
enjoyable.
I've recorded it, so I'm willing to post it on YouTube if you want. Do you want me to use? Do you want me to use the Gmail account so it develops its own YouTube presence?
Yeah, we could do.
I'm happy to do that. You'll need to give me the Gmail login, obviously, and we're saying all this on the recording.
That's fine. It's just going to be us watching it back.
That's true. That's true.
No, that was. It's interesting. It's good fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we had an ops-rich spread, didn't we? But we never capitalised in Africa, and his scoring card time was excellent. He managed to ditch Asia when Formosa was invented before we got domination. He dropped Africa for domination just before we invented colonial rearguards. He managed to drop Europe for 1 instead of Dom. So I think his scoring card timing was significantly more tuned up. Which is nicely done, you know? That's how it goes.
Europe definitely cost us, didn't it?
It did. And remember, we 5-year planned away Europe once as well. So effectively, we lost 2 Europe dominations, which is the difference between us scoring war games and him scoring war games.
That's very nearly cheating, isn't
it?
I don't know. It's hard to know, isn't it? But maybe we could have gone into a second battleground, one of the two influence in Europe earlier.
We were toying with it, weren't we? For a bit?
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed it.
Me too. We should definitely do it again.
Definitely good fun, yeah.
And now we know how much discussion is potentially too much discussion in terms of tempo. So that was a 90-minute discussion, and we made it to the beginning of turn 9. So if we want a true 90-minute clock, we need to accelerate some decisions.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if
there's
team
different
games
formats,
are 2 hours, at least we know if a 2-hour clock is what is agreed, that we can afford a whole game in 2 hours.
Just enjoying the if we want to accelerate some decisions, then on the other hand, I think that's what got us into the realms of 2 hours to start with.
Indeed.
The other hand.
There's lots of other hands.
It might be actually another way of doing it if we want to sort of just get the time sorted out is rather than having a kind of democratic decision on each move, it might be that you have one person making decisions for each turn, rotate it, so there's a bit of discussion and one person decides.
That seems reasonable, because that's still democratic with, well, that's Luis's federated president, isn't it?
I think it feels to me like we sped up in the second half quite a lot.
Yes.
I think at the kind of feeling our way a bit in the first maybe 4 turns, whereas after that we were a bit slicker.
Yep.
So if we'd have played like that from the beginning, maybe that's more.
So you think maybe this will be more polished by virtue of doing it another time?
Yeah, I think so.
It could also be that just the early war takes a bit longer normally.
Yeah, it's one of those paradoxes, right? Because you need to do early war well to make sure you're in a good position for late war, but sometimes the biggest margins are actually in late war. So there's an argument to racing through early war and racing through late war. Just race through the lot. That's the solution. Get it all out of the way. Yeah. To be like Roadrunner.
Do a 45-minute clock.
That's right, yeah. No discussion.
Chaps, that was really enjoyable. I've got to run now, but that was great.
No, thanks for tuning in. It's nice to know it works, and we'll do it right next time. We'll lose our friendly and win our cup games. How about that?
Cool. Nice one.
That's the way to do it. All right, I will end the recording, and I'll get in touch with you about getting it up on YouTube, and then I'll hang out in Steam chat a while the 30-minute clock runs out, because there'll be people watching for another 25 minutes or so.
How many viewers have we got?
Pass. let's have a quick look before you go. In chat, we've got BTM146, Skiewen, Careless Gamer 84, and I think that's it. So 3 people who are talking in chat. There may have been other lurkers, but they're the ones who are having their wee discussion while we are 30 minutes ahead of them. So thanks to you 3 for tuning in. Oh, Mithrin was there briefly as well. So we had at least 4 unique viewers at some point.
Yeah.
Which, considering I sent out a message saying, like, what did I put? It's workshopping to assume we're audible and have limited lag. Sorry in advance. It wasn't exactly an invitation to come hang out. Right.
That very last turn I reckon should have headlined Asia, because he then has to drop DEFCON, which gives us 1 more turn
to do something else. Although we
well,
can't.
I mean,
what can we do?
Didn't nuclear test ban, but we didn't really have much to do anything with.
No.
I mean that's
even spacing and being successful puts it to 7 VP. He needs to miss Pakistan really, because that's a huge VP swing. Alas, I think we were probably dead in the water, like Shez said.
Yeah.
All right, shall I end recording here?
Cool.
Thanks very
much
that.
for doing
it worked
the
out. That was a good couple hours.
side.
That's all right. It worked quite well, and we didn't drop too many frames. We didn't drop any frames.
No.
Brilliant, nice and smooth. All right.
Right.
Until next time.
I'll send you a message. Nice one.
Thanks a lot. See ya.